From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Wednesday, April 29th. Almost the end of the month. Feeling kind of cool outside this morning. A little bit drizzly, too. I had a good mist when I was coming into work. So there's some morning showers around. The high today is only going to be around 64 degrees. Cleanup is underway after massive storms ripped through the state Monday night. The National Weather Service confirms that 3 tornadoes touched down in central Indiana. 2 were in Morgan County and 1 was in Jackson County. No one was hurt, but crews are now dealing with downed power lines, flash flooding, and scattered debris in several communities. A woman that lives in Seymour sent us footage from her Ring camera. It shows the moment the tornado touched down. She tells us that the tornado destroyed her family farm.
My husband and his family have put over 150 years of work into this place. And it may not be perfect, but it's ours, and now it's going to have to be rebuilt.
The National Weather Service says the tornado that hit Jackson County was an EF1. Weather officials say an EF0 and EF1 tornado also hit Morgan County. News 8's Malia Van Ostrin takes us to the cleanup there.
Overnight storms swept through Morgan County, leaving behind a path of damage on multiple streets. In Mooresville, crews are coming together to help their neighbors where large trees came crashing down, landing directly on homes. Lacey Knowles, owner of Mayo & Sons Tree Service, first got a call about a tree on a home around 1:30 in the morning.
Our guys step back and they take about 15 to 30 minutes to observe and see what is the safest way to get it off the house. And then they go in and get it off, and then we're going to end up tarping it as well. And we're going to take the rest of the tree out of here for them so that they don't have to see it.
Knowles says these aren't isolated incidents, as she's responded to several homes dealing with similar damage across the area. She says it's a tight-knit community and is thankful there are no reported injuries.
We have other estimates that we're out doing, seeing trees on cars, trees just falling over, thank goodness, only in the yard and stuff. For the people like him today, I really feel for him because he's already got a lot of stuff going on in his life, and then this just adds to it, so we're here to help him get through it.
There were several trees blocking roads early in the morning, but crews have made good progress throughout the day. There are still many homes with downed trees in the yard. A few minutes away on Neitzel Road, another home with several snapped trees and a large one on top of the roof.
We went in the home and there's 4 holes in the roof. 2 of them have limbs sticking through, water leakage, a window is all cracked and stuff, all shattered. And then on the outside, obviously all the gutters and the roofing's all damaged as well.
Zeller says the damage is estimated to be in the tens of thousands of dollars, but that homeowners' insurance should be able to cover the damage.
It just depends on the wind damage, but this is pretty clustered in a pretty dense tree, so it is quite substantial.
Cleanup crews say that with storms like this, it can sometimes take several days to fully clean everything up, especially with several homes impacted. In Morgan County, I'm Malia Van Ostrand with Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Your statewide news network covers Fort Wayne, where police say a woman is dead after a hit and run overnight. Fort Wayne police say the woman was walking along East Rudsill Boulevard around 1:40 this morning. Officers say she was crossing the street when an SUV hit her. The driver fled from the scene. Police do not have a description of the SUV. The woman was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where she later died. Here in Indianapolis, a judge has sentenced a man to 20 years for a road rage shooting on 465 in 2023. Prosecutors say Stephen Upfault is convicted of attempted murder after firing multiple shots into a car, hitting a 19-year-old driver in the back. Police say the driver survived, but still has a bullet lodged in his body. Investigators say the road rage started after the teenager missed an exit, words were exchanged, and then the teen threw a water bottle. Then Upfault shot at the car. You can voice your opinion about data center regulations in Indianapolis at a virtual meeting tomorrow. Last night, city leaders hosted the first meeting on a special zoning ordinance. News 8's Kat Sandoval tells us what happened.
The data center info session was virtual, but 2 city-county councilors hosted an in-person watch party for residents who had concerns.
I feel like having it virtually meant less feedback, and definitely they were able to more control kind of the community input and outrage.
This was yesterday's town hall regarding a potential data center on the city's east side.
Every single one of you are disgusting.
This recent virtual meeting was a lot quieter, with people submitting questions and comments in a chat.
Seemed kind of disingenuous, but a lot of the comments and questions were deleted and not answered within the virtual, whereas at least here in person, we were able to have the discussion about what our questions were.
The Department of Metropolitan Development is in the process of drafting zoning regulations for data centers. DMD says since March of 2025, 4 data center developers have requested approvals to build new facilities in the city.
Data centers are applying with no clear regulations, and this offers a pathway for all parties that are involved. That includes the applying party, the petitioner, DMD staff, MDC, and anyone else who's involved in that process.
The ordinance would cap noise at 65 decibels, require buildings to sit at least 200 feet from property lines, and limit generator testings in the evening. But City County Councilor Jesse Brown says that's not enough.
Well, I think at the very least, we should be pausing any data center development that's in the pipeline and asking them to do what American Tower did in Pike Township, which is withdraw for now, wait until the county figures out what we want to do in terms of regulation, and then come back.
The next info session is April 30th, with a public hearing set for May 20th. Some residents say the process is moving too fast.
I think we should be very considerate about these data center projects. They're not normal economic development projects.
The Department of Metropolitan Development says the public feedback is open until May 19th. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Kat Sandoval for Wish TV, wishtv.com.
I-Team is asking Governor Braun questions about a newly created position for former DCS Director Adam Krupp. Krupp served as the director of the Indiana Department of Child Services for 1 year. He went on to paid leave for several months, and instead of stepping back in his role as director, Governor Braun created a new job for him, the special advisor to the governor on child welfare. Krupp's new job pays the same as his old job, $210,000 a year. Taxpayers and lawmakers want to know what Krupp's duties are, but the state has not given any details. I-Team's Kara Kenny caught up with the governor yesterday.
Governor, you just talked about efficiency and accountability.
Yeah.
Why give Adam Krupp a position, and how do you hold him accountable if there's no job description for that position?
It's easy to hold you accountable. He left it because he had a personal issue. And if you've got somebody that did a good job and that had an issue personally with it, I'm going to be one that gives you a second chance. And I'll do like I've done over the years. You make good decisions, people stick with you, you'll know how to pay them, you'll know if it makes sense to do so.
IT was not able to ask any additional questions, including if this is a temporary or permanent decision, or if the decision makes good financial sense for the state. This all comes after Jennifer Dorfmeyer was named the new DCS director last week. The state has launched a new program to help companies adopt artificial intelligence. News 8's government reporter, Garrett Berquist, explains what tools local businesses can use.
Both the governor and business leaders say AI has already changed how we work. They say they want Indiana companies to get out ahead of the competition.
It's called InAI. There's already an online portal with training modules and AI success stories. The state plans to hold workshop roadshows and connect interested companies with college students training in AI.
Through this work, we're committed to helping Indiana businesses of every side across the entire state use AI to work smarter, to compete harder, and to grow faster.
Basically, what that allows us to do is to pull in all this information automatically, and it saves us literally 5 months of manual work that nobody really wants to do.
AI has been involved in recent high-profile layoffs. Facebook parent company Meta last week announced it would lay off 8,000 workers, or 10% of its workforce. Microsoft has announced it is offering buyouts to nearly 9,000 of its employees. Both say they're using AI to automate some tasks. Studies of AI's workforce impacts are limited because the technology is so new. An analysis published last week by Goldman Sachs suggested AI raised unemployment by 0.1% over the past year. A Yale University study published in October studied the percentage of workers who entered new occupations each month. That could be due to losing an old job or simply changing jobs. Researchers found that's happening only slightly faster than it did following the adoption of computers in the 1980s or the internet in the 1990s. The governor says the program will remain people-oriented.
It'll be with that careful attention to make sure the end result is that we're ginning up our economy, we're adding jobs with higher pay, and we'll take the input that you do on anything new, tread carefully, but don't be afraid of it.
The Indiana AFL-CIO is more cautious. Their president says working people in Indiana deserve a seat at the table here, and we demand common sense guardrails on AI. AI is a top issue for voters across the political spectrum, and politicians would be wise to fully adopt a workers-first approach on any policies governing this matter of such great economic consequence. Bruns says AI might include grants through the READY program. He says that will depend on industry needs and the state's finances.
The first virtual AI roadshow is scheduled for June 15th. In-person workshops will be held throughout the summer at different points around the state. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
King Charles is in the U.S. for his first official visit as the King of Britain. It comes as relations between the U.S. and U.K. face a delicate moment. Michael Yoshida reports.
Pomp and circumstance as President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump welcome King Charles III and Queen Camilla to the White House. It's Charles' first state visit to the U.S. since ascending to the crown, and is part of celebrations commemorating America's 250 years of independence.
The soldiers who once called each other Redcoats and Yankees became the Tommies and the GIs who together saved the free world as brothers in arms and brothers in eternity.
The royal trip comes as Charles looks to steady U.S.-UK relations strained by the war in Iran, a tricky task because the king has no formal political role. Trump has criticized Prime Minister Keir Starmer's refusal to offer substantial military assistance.
The real challenge here is that the president has not just gone after policy differences with the existing British government and with Keir Starmer, the prime minister. He has gone after the fundamentals of the relationship by saying that NATO is useless.
King Charles then traveled to Capitol Hill to meet with congressional leadership and deliver a joint address reflecting on the two nations' shared history.
Whatever our differences, whatever disagreements we may have, we stand united in our commitment to uphold democracy, to protect all our people from harm, and to salute the courage of those who daily risk their lives in the service of our countries.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida.
The Department of Justice has indicted former FBI Director James Comey in an investigation tied to a social media post involving President Trump. Officials say the post shows a photo of seashells arranged on the beach to spell 8647, numbers that some people associate with violence. The DOJ is interpreting that as a threat to the president. Comey says that the post was not intended as a call for violence and later deleted the post. This marks the second criminal case brought against Comey in recent months. Details of the charges in this most recent indictment have not been released yet. Here in Indianapolis, IndyCar drivers will hit the track for test laps this morning. We are 25 days away from the 110th running of the Indianapolis 500. Yesterday was an unofficial kickoff to the month of May as IndyCar hosted the first two open test days at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All 33 drivers were out on the track turning laps around the oval. They say there's nothing like being back at IMS as they gear up for the greatest spectacle in racing.
Super exciting, even this morning or last night, driving into a track, seeing the big face there, and just kind of getting the month of May started. I cannot wait to make this our home base for the next month.
Always special, you know, it's the best place in the world to drive a race car, and to get back here every year and sort of do those first few laps is always super special. It sort of blows your mind the first few laps because like, oh my God, it's so fast, and then you get used to it and you get into working on the cars. But always special being here.
This track means a lot, I think, to everybody. You know, it's a very historic race. It's arguably the most historic motor race that you will find in the world, and so we love it tremendously. You know, I love this place and love Indianapolis, and I always cherish laps around here.
Open testing starts at 10 this morning in Speedway. News 8's Colin Bailey will be live at the track starting in our 6 a.m. hour on Wish TV. In college basketball, ESPN reports that the NCAA is expanding the men's and women's basketball tournaments to 76 teams. That would add 8 more large bids to the tournament starting next season. The first round of the tournament will expand from 4 games to 12 to accommodate the additional tournament teams. Fever star Caitlin Clark is set to release a children's picture book based on her life. The publishing company made the announcement yesterday. The book will be called Extraordinary, A Little Extra to Reach Big Dreams. Clark says the title is based on an inscription that hung above her mirror in her childhood bedroom that said, "The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is a little extra." The book is set to release on November 3rd. Wish TV is your education station. It is almost time to meet our Golden Apple Award winner for April. We have surprised her with the award, a school supply shopping spree to teachers' treasures, and $500 thanks to our partners at Hensley Legal Group. So here are 3 clues. She is a special education teacher at Purdue Polytechnic High School Broad Ripple, where every teacher is called a coach. She's also a track coach and teaches yoga to students after school. Plus, students and staff say she creates a safe space at school and just has a calm classroom.
The most compassionate person in the building. She loves every one of her students. She lives and breathes with them. She does things inside school, outside school for them. I've not met anyone since I've worked in a school that gives more of herself to her students.
She's just an incredible human being who loves deeply and understands the power of education and really understands the transformation that can happen when a student has the right educator in front of them.
She's their safe person.
She has a heart of gold. It's a safe space because we are able to talk about like our feelings and what's going on at home, and we won't be judged for it. She's completely understanding, and she helps us calm down, and she helps us figure out who we are as people.
This teacher also lost one of her students earlier this year. It was a tragedy that gripped the community. We'll explain how she helped the school heal and is keeping that student's memory alive. And we'll show you how our team surprised her tomorrow morning at 7:30 right here on Wish TV. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.